And here we are, part 2 of the SOG PowerPint. Now before we start, I just want to let you all know I am sorry, there is a lot of noise upstairs, so just to let you know. Alright, I said I would do a second part of the SOG PowerPint, so I'm going to do just that. And it's going to be all on tools, and there are quite a bit of tools here and some bonus tools, so I'm not going to spend too much time on each tool, but I will definitely do my best. So, let's just get started. The knife. The knife is really nice. It's quite sharp and really good. Kind of a cheap steel, if you know what I mean. It's not the best steel. I believe it's... The steel name will be right down here somewhere. I cannot remember it offhand, but it is a cheap, weaker steel. But I mean, like seriously, if you have something like, you know, your main blade on a daily basis, right? And you're using that, well, this is perfect for if you need something like razor sharp, you know, once in a while where your main blade may fail, or if you just need a smaller knife. So it's always nice to have a backup knife. The leather awl. I've only used this tool for as a toothpick, but yeah, this is definitely a nice little piece. I mean, you could open packages with it if you wanted to, or something like that. I could see that being used. Not much to say on it. Just it's a leather awl. Flathead screwdriver, or small flathead screwdriver. This guy is definitely useful. I have used him before. More than likely, I would prefer a bigger flathead, just to be honest with you. But I mean, like again, there are those times where you really do need something small and critique, I guess. You know, if you're critiquing something. So this is a seatbelt cutter slash gut hooker or something like that. Something you know, like cut your animal open. I don't know what they call it. Whatever it is razor sharp, and I do like it. I think from all the tools, this is the one I like to use for cutting boxes and stuff. I have used it for that, and it's worked really well. Could use a sharpening, but I think it's fine. Next up here, we have a file. Now, this file has been modified. I will talk about it, talk about the modification later. But anyways, this is a file, really nice. This one's quite aggressive. I know my brother actually has one of these too, and his is not as aggressive, so it was kind of weird. I don't know why, but the one I have is quite aggressive, and I like it. I do use it often. So that was side 1. Now on to side 2. This is a saw or a serrated blade. I think it's more of a serrated blade, not so much a saw. What's the difference? Well, basically a saw is much more aggressive. A serrated blade is not as. It can work as a saw, but you know, like it's basically what a serrated blade is. It's like a saw, it just won't do as aggressive work as a saw would. Next up here is the can opener. This is probably my least favorite tool of all the tools here. All the tools here are quite useful. Some of them not as much as others, but they are quite useful. This is the tool I believe that SOG has completely failed on. This cannot cut diddly squat. And I always thought it was because it wasn't sharp enough, which is definitely part of it. If you look at the pictures of, I mean, this one's been sharpened, but if you look at a picture of one that has not been sharpened, it's like really you just gave up at the very bottom and they didn't even bother sharpening to the tip. But it's actually this little piece here. See, when you are going to open a can, right, your blade sits, you know, on the can, and this piece, this little hook, you know, is used to basically hold the blade in place while you go around. Well, this hook is built so badly, it doesn't come up far enough. It needs to come out way farther for this to even grab properly, because it keeps slipping when you're opening it. Now, can it work? Yes, it does work. Horribly? Yes, 110%. I have to punch it with the awl and then kind of makeshift attempt to get across, and it takes about twice as long as if I were to have a regular Swiss Army can opener. So yeah, I am not impressed. This is probably my least favorite tool of all of them, but you get what you get. Sometimes you get, like, if any multi-tool, you get some that thrive and some that just suck. Next here we have a small Phillips head screwdriver. This one I actually really like and enjoy. It's quite nice to have a small Phillips with you. I didn't know how much I needed it, because the nice thing about this small Phillips, it actually can take some pretty, you know, fair sizes. You know, it's like obviously really small, but also it could take some big ones too. So I'm quite impressed with this tool. I do like it. Now the bottle opener is definitely nice. I've used it before. It works fine. There's not really much to say about it. It's a bottle opener. Yeah, if I were SOG, I would take Swiss Army's idea and have a Bottle opener slash can opener, they have those in some Swiss Army knives, and they work much better. And it's one tool, which means you can pack more tools in here. I would love to see if there's a modification to do that, but for now, you got both tools. One sucks, this one is great, but you know, it would be cool to see that in the future. Now, the scissors. The scissors on mine were not sharpened as well as my brother's. This will cut, at least mine will cut, obviously paper and very, very thin cardboard. My brother's can actually cut a lot more than this one can. Again, not every tool is going to be 100% perfect. I think they just didn't do as well on this one than they did on my brother's, but that's okay, I don't mind. It works with scissors, and that's what you really want. You know, I like it because I can cut off little pieces of fabric or stuff like that. But they're scissors, there's nothing super exciting about them. So that was the second side. Now let's move on to the top. Alright, so obviously needle nose pliers, really nice. They are super good. I love these things. I've used them often. Again, they're not gonna be as good as, like, you know, Leatherman's product, for example, but they're gonna be a lot better than those teeny weeny ones, and they can stand up to Leatherman for a long time before they're going to break first before a Leatherman will, but they will definitely stand up for a long time. Now, there's also these wire cutters. I've used them. They are just so well made. I love these things. They cut like basically any type of wire. They are so good. They're not replaceable, so they're fixed on there, which I don't mind. I don't really care. Some people like the replaceable versions. I don't really care all that much. But they're sharp. They come razor sharp, and they're really nice. Now on this end, you have a hex bit holder or a bit holder, whatever you want to call it, which can take, obviously, bits. These bits here fit inside like so. And yeah, you can have a full-size Phillips or, you know, a small tool that you can't get on this. It can take all that. It works really well. There's a magnet in here that will hold them, like hold the bits inside. And yeah, I think it's a really good deal. They're not going to come out when you really get a grip on it. I think that tool is really cool. I have not seen that in any other multi-tool. Now, deep inside here, you might not be able to see it, or this, I believe it's a wire crimper or something like that. Something you can squish the wires together. I've never used it. I don't know if I ever will, but they're there if you want them, you know, whatever. And that is all there for the top. Now, bonus tools, things that they don't really actually mention, or maybe they do mention a few of these. Who knows? I'm going to go over them anyways. Number one, on the top here, you have a ruler that is measured in centimeters and in inches. I actually really like this. I use it for measuring blades and stuff. You know, I think it's actually quite useful. It's, again, a ruler is going to be better than what they have here, but it will definitely work. Next up, on the side here, is something you can use for measuring angles. Now, I don't think you guys can see it. I'll try and do a close-up of it, but basically you line up some of these lines here to the angle of your choosing, and then you can just draw it out. It's definitely usable. My brother uses it quite a bit. I don't, but it is there if you need it. It's on this little piece here that's holding the gears together when opening, and if you look, you can see the little numbers there, and those numbers are the angle positions this thing can do. Okay, so another piece which they have not added, but I put on myself, is a large flathead screwdriver. Like, this was kind of, honestly, a little sad for me, because they should have done this and they didn't. It does not come like this. All you need is a belt sander and a little bit of time, and you can make yourself a full flathead screwdriver. Honestly, SOG, that was a big letdown. You guys should have done that, but you didn't, so I had to do it. It works really good. I like it. It can also work as a light pry tool if you want to use that as well, but I believe that this modification, it's easy to do, it's super nice, and yeah, it came out perfect. So, SOG, get with it. Okay, so you haven't heard my likes and dislikes. I love this tool. I've been carrying it. I know I'm giving it a little bit of grief here and there, but I'm being honest, right? This tool is really nice. I still think it's worth the price. I just have some concerns, but I think this will be definitely something. If you were to pick this up, you would not be disappointed. I am not disappointed with this thing at all. Yeah, there are some problems, but I mean, that's with anything. Any knife, anything you buy, there's going to be something you're not like about it, and this is no exception, which is disappointing, but you get what you get. I definitely think this is a good tool. I would highly recommend it. I will let you know when you do get it, it is going to come, there's going to be a bunch of lube in this, so when you open it, it's not going to be super smooth. Other than that, yeah, I think the rest is kind of up to you guys on what you want to do with it. I would highly recommend, though, if you want to, honestly, put a flathead screwdriver on. In my opinion, it's a good decision to do. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you later.